Rev up your engines!
Cat Mario says, Scotty, love your channel. By the way, what do you think about tuning the Corolla 2012 by an engine so I can make up to 200 horsepower because I want to add horsepower in my Corolla? Well, they're well-made engines. And the Matrix-designed engine that some of the Corollas used, hey, that's the same engine they use in the baby Lotuses. So you can, if you want to put a turbocharger or a supercharger, you can. Those are very good engines. Just realize your gas mileage will plummet when you do stuff like that too, you know. You might really not want to get that much horsepower. You might be happy with the gas mileage it's getting now. But if you want more power, my advice is generally the easiest thing is to put a supercharger on it. Because the turbo, you got to mess with the exhaust system and stuff, and the supercharger is just a bolt-on kit. Phoenix says, Subaru Forester XT 2002 to 2006. Should I go for the automatic or the manual? I heard the automatic is bad and I don't like automatics. But the XTs with the manual transmission are twice as expensive. That tells you that's why they're twice as expensive, because they're good and they don't have problems. Now, they weren't twice as expensive when they were brand new, but now they are because the automatic, the value of them goes because everybody knows Subaru automatic transmissions are garbage. But the standard transmissions are excellent transmissions, so you're going to pay more for a used one, yes. But if you don't want to get one, do get a standard. You find out if the automatic transmission goes out on a Forester all-wheel drive, you can spend anywhere from $3,500 to $6,500 having it either completely replaced with a new unit or having it rebuilt by somebody who really knows what they're doing. Todd Warsing says, love the channel. Scotty, what do you think of the 2011 Tacoma 4-cylinder? I may trade my Forester. I'm looking for reliability. It'd be a very smart move. Those 4-cylinder Tacomas can last for a really long time. The only thing that we had problems with for a few years, they had frames that could rot. Now, that's long before the 2011. They didn't have any problems with the frames in those. But those things can really run forever. My son's got one, and he's even got an automatic transmission in his, and he uses it to tow stuff around. He says he has no problems at all with it. You'll notice you try to buy a used one, the prices are really high because everybody knows they're good vehicles, so it's hard to get a good price on one, but they are really well made. Jason Lobo says, Scotty, I got a Civic 2010 with intermittent AC issues. Sometimes it cuts out when I'm driving, but the fan's on. The only way to get it working is stop it and start it again. Well, that's kind of funny because I'm working on one today that does the same exact thing. And for the woman who owns it, she said it's done it for the last 6 years. A lot of times on those, it's a computer system problem. You have to understand, even though you push a little button that says AC, all that is a 5-volt reference signal that goes to a computer. And there is an air conditioning control module that decides from all the data it gets how often to run the compressor, when to turn it on, if it's getting too cold to turn it off, or if the pressure's too high to turn it off. It's a very complex system. So my advice with you is find a guy like me that knows Honda, that has a dealer-level scan computer. Have them hook them up while you're watching, and they'll analyze the data, and they can see maybe a controller's going bad, maybe an actuator's going bad. And from my experience with those, a lot of times it's actually the compressor starting to go bad on that particular model. That's just something that happens with those as they age. Michael Gomez says, my work van shakes when I brake. What can be the issue? Well, normally it's warped rotors. If you are driving down the road, say going 60, and you slam on the brakes and it starts shaking, it usually means your rotors and the brake pads are warped. So instead of squeezing a flat rotor, they're warped. Now, they're only warped a few thousandths of an inch, but when you're going fast, those wheels are really spinning, so that makes the brake pads like that, even though it's only thousandths of an inch. It's so fast when you're braking from 60 that it makes the whole van shake. That's the first thing to check. Now, if it's not that, jack it up. See if there's play in the wheels. Could be a tie rod, ball joint, lots of things. A-frame bushing can do it. But normally it means your brake rotors and the pads are warped. And you'd want to replace both the pads and the rotors. Matt Master says, I got a 2012 Jeep Wrangler. It grinds when it goes into third gear. Any idea why? Okay, I'm assuming you got a standard transmission. Well, if it grinds only going into third gear, that means that the synchro mesh in third gear is going out. And it would have to be rebuilt, which is a relatively expensive process having that done. ton. So what you might do is either baby it in third gear or bypass third gear. I had a car like that once, and I just bypassed third gear. I'd drive it really high in second gear, and then I'd shift to fourth gear, and I'd bypass third gear entirely. It doesn't hurt anything. It's just that you're going to lose a little bit of acceleration in third gear, but I mean, if you go pretty fast in second and then go into fourth, you can bypass the gear, and then it won't wear anymore. I have a lot of people that'll do that.
So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.